Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new to here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with the latest web development content. Today, we are diving into the exciting topic in Next.js, nested dynamic routing. Next.js make routing super easy, and with dynamic route, we can create flexible and scalable application. But what we need multiple levels of dynamic route. That is where nested dynamic route comes in. So, what is nested dynamic route? The question is that in Next.js, a dynamic route is created using a curve bracket which we have already created in the last video, allowing us to generate route dynamically based on the parameter. But sometimes we need to go deeper. Next is dynamic route. Let us define multiple levels of routing dynamically. Suppose here you can see a small example. We'll use case for that. Imagine you are building an e-commerce application where you have category and product. Your URL is something like product slash category slash product ID. This means product slash electronics slash 123 display the product ID 123 in the electronics category. While if we have other route was product clothing 456, it display the product 456 in the clothing category. So this is how these are the nested route which we use to build in this Next.js application. For that we have a scenario. Let see the scenario and then we start building the nested dynamic route in our application. So here you can see we have a scenario 5 where we are changing the nested dynamic route. In this case, here you can see that we have a localhost 3000 slash product plus 1, which show the product detail page which we already have built in the last video. After that, if we going to add a nested route inside that, then what we do, how the URL look like. Here you can see that we have localhost 3000 slash product plus 1 slash review slash 1, which means that the review 1 for product 1. So this is the perfect example of the routing, nested dynamic routing. So this are the route which we build in our application today. So let's move on to Visual Studio Code. Where you can see that our server is getting started over here. And let's move on to the browser then. So 37, and you can see that when the server get started, it will see you the home page. And after that, we have already built that product in the dynamic route in the last video. That product 1 page would be seen over here. Okay, this is the detailed product project. Now, our purpose is to build the nested dynamic route inside that by showing the URL like reviews/1 over here. Currently, it is not working because we are not defining any nested dynamic route over here. So, let's start building this so that this particular URL route can be worked in our Next.js application. Let's move on to our Visual Studio Code. So, let's start setting up our nested route into the product URL. Okay, inside that we already know that we have typed this particular product plus 1 plus reviews/1. So, it is not working because I am not describing any nested route inside that. So, let's start building. Inside product ID, we can create a new folder which we will call it reviews. Inside that, we also create a new new folder with the so that we get the dynamic review ID. For that, we can type it as review. For the dynamic to get the dynamic review ID, we will type get review ID. Inside review ID, we will create a page.tsx which will display the text inside the which will fetch the product ID as well as the review ID. So here you can see that let's create a function for that. Export, you will type it as export default function product review. After that, we can see here that we get the review ID in the group params. So we can type it as a param. Inside the params, so we have params which is resolved as an object with of type product ID and string. So we can write as promise, not promises. We can remove, we don't want promises, we only need the promise for that, and inside it will resolve like an object. It will have an object of the promise will be P capital. You should be seeing and we type it at product ID, because we need to get two ID, one for the product ID and another was the second order was the it is of type string, otherwise review ID. Okay. Inside that we also get the review ID for it, which will also a type of a string. Inside that we completed that. So these are the if we need to resolve the this particular param ID because it contain a promise. So in order to resolve that, we need a async await method for that. So we declare this function as async, and we can create destructure the ID which is the product ID and the review ID from the params, and we can type it as await params. We can type it as await. We can type await params over here, so that we can destructure all the data from it, and in the return statement we can type what things we are going to return from this particular component. Inside this we can type it as at1 tag, and we can write it as review, and we pass review ID to it, and the product to has the product ID for product ID. Review for which product you need to show. So we also display that particular product ID. Product ID you will see here over here. Now you can see that this particular route product 1/1/1 was not working because we are still working on it. So now it is you see that it will compile successfully. Let's move on to and see that this particular URL will be working on that part. Okay. So now move on to the browser code. Okay. Review. Refresh. Actually, it is not refreshing. That's why it's showing the error of it. So here you can see that our URL with the product 1/review1/ is working fine. If we give the 50 review to it, and maybe the product is somewhere around 10. So here you can see that it is review number 50 for particular product 10. So this is how the dynamic nested route works in Next.js application. So I hope you can easily understand how we have built this particular review inside the product ID, which will fetch the dynamic route, and inside that review folder we have also created the dynamic ID, so that we get the dynamic review ID on that part, and we will display that review ID and product ID on this particular one. So let's visualize how all the things working in all together. Let's move on to the slides. So here let's visualize what we have done in this video so far. Here in this I have mentioned number of conditions, and also how the directory will be activated on the basis of the URL change in the browser. So when we did the root URL, it was the localhost 3000. You will see that app folder will be activated, and that page.tsx will be activated. Okay. After that, when we visit condition B, when we visit localhost 3000/product, the product folder will be activated, and inside that the page.tsx officially bind will be displayed on the home page of the browser. After that, we will move on to the localhost 3000/product/1. Then the dynamic route will be activated, and product ID, which will be used for selecting the dynamic route in Next.js application, will be activated, and the page.tsx will be seen over here. After that, we have to move on to the reviews. As you can see that reviews, we don't have the page.tsx, so only the review folder will be activated, and the localhost 3000/product/1/review will be URL in this browser. After that, when we type review ID to that particular route, then the review ID dynamic review, which we have built the folder with the bracket, will be activated, and the page.tsx will be seen. So all the things will be work together like in this way, and how the URL changing as per the directory in the structure. So this is how all the things will be used and managed in the dynamic nested routing. I hope you understand effectively that how the nested dynamic route is built in Next.js application. How you can create nested dynamic route in Next.js application. Now it is time for you to put your skills to the test. Here is a quick exercise for you. I have a challenge in which you have to create a page.tsx file in that reviews folder, and to display a product review listing page for each product, and a mock review to the page, and see how it works. Let me know in the comment section. I will love to hear about your progress and help it if you get it up. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. It will others who might be in benefit. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.